Hey folks, Eric here from DirtyLittleSneakers.com, and I want to continue today my Garmin comparison series. And since they're both on steep discount right now, I want to look at the Garmin VivoActive 3 versus the VivoActive 4. Now, neither of these watches are new to the market. As I mentioned, they're available at a really deep discount, with the 3 coming in at $130, the 4 $250. So for an extra $120, let's see if the 4 is really worth it. So a quick note about transparency, I did buy both of these watches with my own money, so I'm not beholden to Garmin or anyone else when talking about them. So no one's gonna see this footage before I post it. On that note, if you decide you want one of these watches, it would be great if you'd use one of the links below. They go to my Amazon associate account, so I will make a couple of bucks off of the sale, but at no cost to you. I just want to make it clear that I'm comparing the 3 without music to the 4, which actually does have music. For some reason, the 3 with music isn't available right now, so just know that going in. Before we get too deep into it, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button below, it'll get this up into the YouTube algorithm a little bit more. It might just help somebody who's making a decision on which watch to get. It'll do wonders for the video, for the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get to the watches. So let's talk about the basics and how they are the same. Let's look at the physical watch before we get into the specifics about exercise and working out. The 3 is a little smaller than the 4, coming in at 43.4 by 11.7 millimeters, with the 4 coming in at 45.1 by 12.8 millimeters. Now, neither make a huge impact on your wrist. My test is always to put the watch on and see if I can get into a jacket or a shirt without catching the watch inside my sleeve. Side note, neither one caught. Now the display size is also a bit different, with the 3 coming in at 1.2 inches, which is the same as, well, all of the 4Runner series, and the 4 coming in at 1.3 inches. And I really do think that that 1/10 of an inch makes a difference. I know it sounds crazy, but it does. But the biggest difference, and maybe this is why that 1/10 of an inch makes a difference, is in the resolution. The 3 comes in at 240 by 240 pixels, and the 4 260 by 260. Oh, and both have touchscreen color displays that are designed to be able to be visible in direct sunlight, so there's not going to be an issue with you exercising outside. The 4 is 7.5 grams heavier than the 3, coming in at 50.3, the 4 43. No big deal, right? You won't even notice a difference at all, even after a marathon. Which brings us to battery life. The 3 has 2 modes: smartwatch mode, up to 7 days, and GPS mode, which is up to 13 hours. Those are your choices. The 4 has 3 modes: smartwatch mode, which goes up to 8 days, so you get an extra day; GPS mode with music, up to 6 hours, and GPS without music, up to 18 hours, so an extra 5 hours there. Now clearly you know that both are fitness trackers, and they can be used in a wide variety of exercise activities, like gym workouts, including cardio and strength training with automatic rep counting, running, golfing. People really track golf? Cycling and swimming. So in order to do that, both include a number of sensors, like satellite tracking. There are 3 different standards in the satellite tracking: GPS, which is the North American standard, GLONASS, which is the Russian standard, and Galileo, which is the EU standard. Now, the reason to include the 3 standards is not so that the Russians can spy on you. Basically, you can connect into more satellites floating up in space that are going to help the accuracy of the tracking. Both have the Garmin wrist-based heart rate, both have a compass, an accelerometer, which is used to determine the movement of your arm, so this helps with things like counting reps at the gym or strokes in the pool, a barometric altimeter for ascent and descent, and the 3 comes with a thermometer built in, while the 4, you need an external sensor for that. The 4 also adds a gyroscope, which helps to improve swim features and rep counting. It also helps with distance and direction calculations when the GPS is off, so things like indoor track or treadmill runs. The 4 also has a pulse ox monitor for spot checks or all-day measuring. But all-day measuring is a huge strain on the battery, and honestly, I found that the pulse ox and the Garmin's haven't been that accurate. Now, both can be used as a smartwatch, meaning they connect to your phone via Bluetooth, and you can wear them as an all-day watch. One of the things that I love about that is that they have GPS time sync, so twice a year, you don't have to change your watch for daylight savings. What doesn't these days, though, right? I feel like the only clocks that I change are in my car, on my stove, and on my microwave, and they're never accurate, so clearly I don't change them. Anyway, you get a million different alarms that you can set, and you can change them to whatever you want them to be. You get a stopwatch on both, text and phone call alerts, so you don't have to pull your phone out of your pocket every time you feel it vibrate, and sunrise and sunset times. You can also, like I said earlier, play music on the 4 where you can on the 3. You can upload up to 500 songs from your library, connect some Bluetooth headphones, and go on your merry way without bringing your phone if you so choose. The 4 has a bunch more features than the 3 in the health monitoring arena, but both watches have all-day heart rate tracking, resting heart rate, abnormal heart rate, and stress and sleep tracking. You'll also get body battery in the 4, which I really like because it gets me out of errands after long runs or rides on Sundays. Let me talk about this feature for a second. Body battery tells you how rested your body is after looking at a bunch of different metrics. Heart rate variability, stress, and your activity level. It's going to estimate your energy reserves throughout the day. Now, it takes a while to get to know your workout patterns along with your rest and sleep habits, but it's a decent training tool to know if you're feeling fatigued because of overtraining or you're just not getting enough rest. The 4 also has daily relaxation minders, so you can get your Zen on. Cue the Zen music now. All right, let's get to the crux of it: running, cycling, and swimming. Everything, and I mean, well, almost everything is the same in both watches. There's one difference, which I'm going to get to in a second, but the headline here is that if you're a runner, a cyclist, or a swimmer, you get almost all of the same features and metrics in either watch. On the bike, both support indoor and outdoor profiles, so you can put your bike on a trainer if that's your thing, or you can just ride outside, which is what I rather do. Both are compatible with the Varia light and radar systems, as well as speed and cadence sensors. For running, there are 3 profiles: outdoor, which uses the GPS for distance and time pace; indoor track, which uses the gyroscope to help determine distance. Now, what I like about the indoor track mode is that the longer your run session is, the more accurate it gets, as it's going to take an average of all of your laps to help calibrate the gyroscope. And then treadmill running, which takes most advantage of the accelerometer and is boring AF. Now, both watches can also determine cadence and have downloadable run workouts that you can use through Garmin Connect. A quick note on swimming: you can't use either of these watches outdoors. I mean, you can use them outdoors, you just can't use them with GPS. The only swim profile in both of the watches is for pool swimming. Now, this is where you set the length of the pool before you jump in, so your watch can determine, the gyroscope can determine, help determine when to turn and how many, lengths that you've done. Swimming is also where the only difference is between the 2 watches, and that's an underwater wrist-based heart rate. Now, Garmin introduced this at the beginning of 2020 with an update to the Fenix 6 series. Do you remember the beginning of 2020? It's like 10 years ago. Now, I've never found it to be too accurate, but if you're a swimmer, set it up and see if it works for you. Now, other swim features include those listed here. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the safety features that are included in the watches. Both of them have what Garmin calls live track, where you can set up a contact in Garmin Connect who, when you start an activity, will be emailed or texted a link to watch your progress in real time on a map. And then there's incident detection and assistant features that only come on the VivoActive 4. Now, assistance allows you to send a text message with your name and GPS location to a predetermined emergency contact that you set up in Garmin Connect. Here's what it looks like. So which one is right for you? Honestly, with so few differences between the 2, my money's on the 3. I mean, don't you already basically have your phone with you at all times? If you do, you're not missing much in the 4. The only thing you're not getting is the underwater heart rate and some of the safety features. I mean, there's very few differences. That's about it, folks. If you're interested in getting either of these watches for yourself, I put links, like I said earlier, in the description below of this video. Just know that it goes to my Amazon associate account, so I will make a couple of shekels off of the purchase, but at no charge to you. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please hit that like button below, get it up into the YouTube algorithm a little bit more. And if you like gear reviews, race reviews, or anything endurance sports related, I'm your guy. Please hit subscribe and the bell next to it so you get notified when I put new videos up just about every week or so. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time.